So hi, Simon. Thank you very much for joining me in conversation today after publishing your very extensive vacation rental technology landscape. Could you first start by please introducing yourself in case anyone for some reason out there isn't familiar with you already, and the work that you're doing with AJL Atelier?
Absolutely. And first and foremost, thank you for having me, Paul, and being so responsive on our announcement today, which obviously you can see in my background that went a lot of work in, and we'll cover that shortly. So my name is Simon Lehmann. I'm the co-founder and CEO of AJL Atelier. We are an advisory firm in the vacation rental industry. So we are based in Zurich, Switzerland. We have offices in Barcelona, Amsterdam, Istanbul, and the United States. And we are a firm that consults and advises and supports any stakeholder that is either already operating in the vacation rental industry or is trying to enter the vacation rental industry.
Perfect. And we talked about the landscape, but could you tell us a little bit about your reasoning for publishing this vacation rental technology landscape and how extensive it is?
Absolutely. I think the time we've allocated will not be enough to get to the bottom of it, but I'll try to keep it short. I had the honor to be the former CEO of Focusrite a few years back. And at that time, we were also always looking at all these different travel technology landscapes in any different vertical. And I was always fascinated, how fragmented the travel technology landscape is. I mean, just around travel in general, we don't even talk about specific airlines or cruise or anything like the like. And when I came into vacation rental, obviously many, many years ago, but when we found AGL Consulting, 2018, we were pretty clear that we want to put that landscape in our industry out there. So far, there hasn't been a really detailed and comprehensive landscape, vacation rental technology landscape than we have built now. Has been out there, and we felt we want to own that space. We want to make that happen. We are here to create information and intelligence and data. That's a core function at AGL. We help a lot of market studies, big companies who want to come into the space, and this is a market study. This is putting a lot of transparency out there. How does the vacation rental technology landscape really look like? And it's a lot larger than just a handful of technology companies. And we wanted to create clarity. We have a lot of inbound interests by investors, by any stakeholders. Who else is out there? How is it organized? How does vacation rental technology really look like? And we wanted to sort of create that clarity, that visibility with this map, and we did it together with a growth private equity firm called Peakspan Capital. So we shared some resources because they felt this needed to happen, and we were sort of the best partner to make it then visible to the industry. And that's why we partnered and did this in record time. Over a couple of months, we're putting this information together while we already had a wealth of data, obviously, that we've gathered in the 5 years we've been in the industry, and now we made it available to everyone.
Wow, a couple of months. I can only imagine all the work that's gone into this. But for everyone who's tuning in and watching this, what do you think are the main takeaways everyone should be gleaning from this particular graphic?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a lot of takeaways. So we have Q3 last year, we have published a PMS landscape, and we have published a guest experience landscape already. And one thing that we've realized, and then we started a vacation rental technology database where companies could actually enter their businesses. We have at the moment 120 of them, which is a lot more detailed than just the logo, what you see. So we're still working on that. So there we had a lot of different takeaways, especially when you look at the value proposition of the different companies. So the biggest challenge for us was to sort of bucket all these companies into subcategories, because there's a lot of overlays, right? So one thing that is clear, a lot of these players are sort of expanding their value proposition into other areas like guest communication, guest engagement, upselling, automation, whatever it might be. And that's why that was very challenging for us to categorize. number one. Number two is we had two distinctions, and you can see that behind me, we have a dark blue box. These are sort of the traditional vacation rental, short-term rental PMSs and channel management platforms that have been in our vertical, literally focused on our vertical. And then the light blue below is the hotel vertical. So that's definitely a massive takeaway, that we have identified a lot of companies from the hospitality space who are now entering the vacation rental space as well, which in the past have definitely more focused on the hospitality space. And that's why we've also quoted the CEO of Skift, Raffat, who said, the places are merging. And that's also happening in technology. So it's not just the supply that is finally converging. It's now also technology. So I think that's a massive takeaway. Another one, maybe a third one, is that we see a lot of new companies that haven't really been out there, right? And the biggest crowded space, interesting enough, in terms of the subcategories, is the guest experience and guest engagement space. And this has really, you're very close to this. In 2022, we didn't talk that much about creating efficiencies through PMSs anymore. It was all about guest experience. So the vacation rental vertical has finally arrived. It's a recognized vertical now. We've had great years post-COVID. Everybody's now finally understood what a rental is. And therefore, we need to lift our professionalism and how we deliver experiences to these people who have always used hotels in the past. So therefore, it's obvious that the shift now in terms of tech is very much towards the guest experience. And that space is definitely very crowded and very competitive.
Excellent. And do you think this illustrates maybe an increasing fragmentation or consolidation in the tech landscape? And
yeah, that's a great question. I especially me, who is always talking about this consolidation, right? And we've seen some interesting transactions last year, like an Avantio and a Track and Rented and Guesty obviously made us quite a few acquisitions as well, which we have recognized with dotted lines. So we kept the brands and put them underneath Guesty as well, so people understand. Just one behind me over the other side, this way on the shoulder, there's a Guesty acquisition, which then we put it underneath. So we actually try to accommodate a little bit the consolidation space with dotted lines around the brands, which were acquired businesses by other companies. So this would definitely illustrate a consolidation, right? And interesting enough, we might have certain pockets, we might have certain subcategories where we will see more consolidation. I think for 23, most probably in the PMS side, we will see more PMSs potentially appearing, being acquired. That would be my guess in 23. So the market is still opportunistic for an exit for some of the technology companies. There's still a lot of interest by private equity to invest into the space, maybe less strategic acquisitions and more so actually financial acquisitions. So on the PMS front, we'll see some. I'm also believing that also potential on the channel management side, and maybe even on the revenue management side, features that PMSs don't have, they might want to acquire, right? Okay. But then so certain subcategories, I think, will consolidate. And then you have other subcategories who go the opposite, right? Especially anything that is guest-facing, automation, Internet of Things, access control, remote door locks. I mean, that space is just literally exploded. And I think a lot more corporates will come into this, and they want to have a piece of that pie. Companies that have focused on the hotel industry in the past, especially in the technology side and guest comms and guest experiences, etc., they're now thinking, hey, we need to go to this rental space as well. So I think we will see more startups on that side of the slide, and this side of the slide will get more consolidated.
So ultimately, we can expect to see more M&A and funding rounds over the next couple of months.
Without a doubt. I mean, now we're all, I'm hearing from also the private equity market that markets are coming back. Even lending might be back very soon, which means private equity have access to capital to finance transactions. So I definitely think so. And of course, at large, we still don't know how these macroeconomical changes are going to impact us in the mid to long term. What does that mean to the GDPs of the different countries? But so far, I think there will be a lot more activities, and the next few months will definitely be exciting. Either smaller companies being acquired by other strategic operators within the industry, or financial investors are coming into space. I think one thing that we still find definitely very challenging right now, besides the growth equity capital, if you wish, is the venture capital side. So venture capital is still extremely dry and extremely cautious at the moment. So we will see less venture capital funding rounds happening. Yes, there is the odd on a daily basis. Hotel Runner just raised 6 million as well. So there are a few that are still able to raise venture capital, but it's definitely extremely tough for any startup who still has a high burn rate, who needs a lot of growth capital to raise venture capital right now. They're very cautious in their investments. They need to make sure that their existing portfolio is surviving, and therefore, for any startup right now to raise a meaningful round of capital that has not a path to profitability or still needs a lot of growth money, that's definitely still very challenging on the venture capital side.
Okay, so some signs of encouragement there, but my next question is a little bit more speculative, and I wanted to get your thoughts. What would you expect this landscape to look like in a year or 5 years' time? I'd like to get your thoughts on that.
Well, the first thing I can promise you, you and I will look at it together in 1 year, and then we will see how it has changed, and we can just put it over each other and see. And that's definitely the idea. So this is an evolving landscape. As you can appreciate, we're on a database behind it, and we want to keep this up to date. So first, before I answer that question, I urge everybody who is not listed on there and feels they belong on this list to reach out to us through our webpage or through LinkedIn and give us a message, and then we'll definitely happy to include those. I think that landscape will change, and I think there will be some other pockets being added to this, and that definitely was a big conversation we had in the lead up of this building this landscape. Is what is the starting point? What's the end point, right? How far can we go in terms of categories and subcategories, and how much more should we include? And I believe there is probably more things are changing on the horizon. You know, one of the hot topics is now obviously OpenAI, ChatGPT, which has been discussed in all forums, which is super exciting. How is that going to impact some of the business behind me? We don't know yet. So I think this is definitely going to be an evolving landscape, not fundamentally, but there will be changes. Some will be impacted more, some will be impacted less. I think we will see even more additional categories, which we haven't even thought in the past are actually possible. And therefore, more categories will come in. One of which is definitely, you know, anything that is related to sustainability, for example. I mean, that's a big topic that will be discussed out there, and are there dedicated players who are addressing sustainability issues, how to run a more sustainable business, more sustainable properties. Is there technology coming in? There is certifications coming in, you know, certify your property to have a zero carbon footprint, etc. So I think we will definitely see some pockets that will evolve, and sustainability is one, but there's definitely others that we might have not just included right now, but there will be more, without a doubt.
And you're also a judge on the Shorties Awards again for 2023. So could you just tell us a little bit about why you're looking forward to this year's event, and also for everyone's benefit here, why should these tech companies be entering?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, you guys are doing an amazing job, and that's why I said right from the start, this needs to be supported. I think, you know, people who do what they do for our industry to help elevate, to professionalize, to make this a super recognized travel vertical, they need to be recognized and they need to be awarded. And I'm super happy that you guys took that initiative and say, hey, we want to have these awards to recognize these entrepreneurs, these technologies, these marketing campaigns, all the different categories that you have, which I think is absolutely amazing and doesn't exist in our industry as such as yet. So that's one of the biggest reasons why people should engage, because it is something you being recognized for the work that you do for the industries is something to participate in. Secondly, it obviously gives you tremendous visibility. It's you address an international audience. You have an international readership. So these technologies can really create a massive visibility in entering the STRz Awards, and obviously being nominated and hopefully winning in a category will definitely help to create visibility, get you access to amazing network like the one behind us. I mean, it would be amazing if all the companies behind us would obviously go and submit their entry, and being recognized as a company that really changes vacation rental, professionalizes and brings us forward. And so these are the three main reasons why I'm supporting the STRz Award, and I think it's a great opportunity to be recognized by the industry at large.
And we've got the link to the dedicated entries platform to come shortly after this interview. Finally, just how can people access this landscape, Simon?
Yeah, actually, we made it very simple. Some people say we made it too simple. Actually, we posted it on LinkedIn today. So through a LinkedIn post from my own person, Simon Lehmann on LinkedIn, you get directed directly to our webpage. So we have two formats where you can download it. You can either download it as a PDF or as a JPEG on our website. So it's www.ajlatelier.com. You go under media, and then you have all the articles, and there you can download that landscape. If you're not featured or you want to give us feedback, there is a link there you can use and give us feedback on the landscape, constructive, creative, critical. We're open to any feedback, and we're trying to accommodate that obviously as well. If you're not featured, then you can also give us feedback, and we update this on an ongoing basis. And one thing that we ask, please do share. You don't have to leave your email address behind, but we want everybody out there to use this slide in their presentations, in their pitch decks, and feedback is very welcome.
Perfect. Thank you very much for your time today, Simon.
Thank you, Paul, and I'm really happy you're featuring us. And good luck with the STRz, and I'm looking forward to be one of your distinct judges. Thank you so much.
Thank you.